This one looks like it's headed right for the middle of the dance floor, Frank.
Rather nice shot, I would say.
Good chance now for a birdie. That was an outstanding play.
Well, it's almost a guarantee there after that shot.
Really not much to this. The only issue would be a lack of concentration or focus.
That's a birdie for McIlroy. He's just so explosive. On to the second hole, 171 yards, tricky little par 3. Challenging shot now from 180 yards.
Rich, these winds haven't subsided at all today. It's certainly a tough test out there right now for these players.
They get your attention, don't they, as a player?
They have club selection right now, vital.
You put the ball back in your stance just a little bit?
If you're going to hit it down.
So on the putting surface, and taking a good look now at this birdie putt here at the second. Frank going for another birdie here.
Just to get on a real roll.
Come on. Don't do that.
Cruel lip out.
Nudge this one home, finish it up. Frank, that is painful.
I mean, all you got to do, just hit it. Just hit it.
Makeable putt right here, currently sitting at 1 under for the round. Even par early on. Frank, how about the first par 5 of the golf course here at the third, just a shade under 530 yards. Good birdie opportunity?
It certainly is. There's 3 bunkers just down that left side. Avoid those, and this par 5, very reachable.
Frank, this one's not looking good.
Yeah, certainly not down the fairway line, heading toward the rough.
So that sets up a tougher second shot, missing the fairway with the drive, now in the rough. Second shot from the rough, it's on the way. So at the third, the approach is on the green, but it's a long ways from the cup, about 30 feet away. He has this putt for eagle. Kind of a tricky read. And getting ready for the putt. Has it, and that is birdie number 2 for the round. Well, look at this hole, Frank. A par 3, 192 yards. It is beautiful.
It's called Devil's Cauldron, but with that lake, I think that should cool you down, not heat you up. Just keep an eye on that drop of elevation. For every 10 yards, you should reduce it by a club, so it's going to play some 50, 60 feet downhill.
Frank, I think what sets golf apart from other sports is that the fan can get so close to the great athlete as the round is being played.
Yeah, well, that's why the sport itself, and we consider it more intimate for that reason. Most golf spectators play the game. Whereas other sports, you don't see NFL players sitting in the grandstand. You see spectators, but most golf fans are golfers.
Good-looking shot right here. Not terrible, but not his best.
Outside chance, really, for birdie, but really, it was a rather poor approach shot.
That was not a very good read right there. Not a gimme, but well within his range. A good effort and a good par putt. Well, again, Frank, we get that good mix of holes here. We've had a couple of par threes, a short par five, and that opening par four. Now at the fifth hole, 424-yard par four.
The first bunker on the right, not really in play for the good players. Just be a little cognizant of that one on the left side, depending on what club you want to hit off the tee. Ideally, that line is the third bunker, the one in the distance. That's a good line off the tee here. Oh, beautiful swing, and the result is every bit as good.
Good strike, good lie, good chance to attack the pin. Let's see what McIlroy does now with his second. Wow, Frank, he is dialed in.
Yeah, that was just some shot on there. Easy birdie.
Just needs to keep it steady here over the putt. Bottom of the barrel, and now to 2 under. Frank, the sixth here at Banff Springs a good little hole, isn't it?
It is very tempting, very easy to sort of just stand up there and wail away with the driver and get caught. This is a generous fairway. You could hit any club down there and you're not going to have a problem with the second shot. So it's just trying to find a yardage that you're comfortable with.
Frank couldn't ask for anything more.
Just the lie there, too. It is sitting up like it's teed up.
Getting set for another approach. Our featured golfer really looks dialed in at this point.
Yeah, right now, this is a great feeling to have as a golfer. Your swing's good, the timing, it's almost like it's just completely natural. You don't have to think. The swing is exactly where you want it to be. So really, you're just looking at the flag in front of you.
Good strike right there, right off the center of the face and about 20 feet away.
Boy, this could be a tough one right here, Frank.
It's a very long putt, Rich. Obviously, it's difficult, but he still has a shot to sink this one for birdie.
You couldn't ask for much more than that, except to make it. Well, that's just a poor putt, Frank, and now let's hope he doesn't make a Michael Bublé.
He's hardly going to be singing after that one.
This for him would be one drop shot. Now at 1 under for the round.
Now to the long par 5, 7th hole, 602 yards, Frank. They call it hoodoo.
Yeah, it's nothing for a little muscle man. Bust one up the tee there. Well, actually it is. You're going to need 2 of your best if you want to reach this par 5 and 2. So, start with a good one.
Can't ask for much more here at the 7th. He has hit a good one. Right in the heart of the fairway. Green light special. Frank, there's a real art to putting a good 72-hole score in the book, isn't there?
Yeah, there is. You know, you can have a flash of brilliance, make 5 or 6 birdies. It can be offset by doubles and quadruple bogeys. And in the end, it's the end. What did you do? The plus and the minuses. And that's why all our biggest championships have, and of recent, been stroke play.
Just a bit offline.
Yeah, the hard work's coming up now, though. It's a long way away.
Frank, I'm not saying he should pull out driver here, but this is a long putt.
Greens are fast, though. You never know. Good line, good pace. Might have a chance.
So close.
And yet it still counts for another shot.
Well, that's not the way you wanted to start out the backside here.
Yeah, you can't afford from inside 10 feet. It just, you feel like you have to make those, and I mean, they really sting when they miss.
Good score going, now at 2 under par. Frank, you like this kind of design feature where you go from the longest hole in the course immediately to the shortest hole.
Certainly, golf giveth and golf taketh away. This is just minimally uphill, just a couple of feet, but you can see from the overview the design of the green. When that flag's on the right, it's a little bit of a longer carry, so just be a little cognizant of that. You don't have to hit it directly at the flag.
This is just a superb performance. Great round to this point, Frank, and you can really see that reflected in his mood today.
Yeah, it just looks too easy. Swinging the club beautifully. Ball's going exactly where he wants it to. He's not trying to take too many risks. So consequently, he's getting birdie opportunity after birdie opportunity.
Appears to be tracking well. Can't hide the flagstick from that man.
So a tester from 4 feet. That's a birdie for McIlroy. He's just so explosive.
So we'll round out the front side here at Banff Springs with a par 5 and reasonably short at only 501 yards.
So very reachable because of that yardage that you just referenced. Hole bends a little bit to the right. You can favor the left side with a tee shot. It's just going to make that angle on the second a little bit easier.
That appeared to be a good strike right there, Frank.
Oh, good. It's just towering. Look at that hanging in the sky.
I mean, he just blasted it down the fairway, well over 325 yards. This could be a huge momentum swing here, Frank.
Yeah, one more good swing, and he's going to have an eagle putt coming up. I know you don't want to get ahead of yourself, but it is well on the cards.
Seems to like it. Looks like it's headed for the green.
Couldn't have done much better than that. An eagle is very possible.
Getting set now over the putt. Starting to really play well. -5.
Getting ready to start the back nine here at Banff Springs. And Frank, you better be ready on this 10th tee. This requires a good shot.
Even though the hole looks like it bends towards the right, the best access to this hole is actually a little draw off that tee. That's the direction of the green, so a nice high draw in here.
Appears to be a smart shot, Frank.
Yeah, no problem here. That's going to fly all the way.
Early part of this second nine, a good approach shot. And now, pretty good chance for birdie. It's a very makeable putt here. He is currently 5 under for his round.
Makes birdie, continuing to amaze on the greens, Frank.
Putted well all day, Rich. Had a couple of good holes early on and just, I think, found the groove. Has taken it to another level. Oh, he's winding this one up. Does he have the power?
And that ball is absolutely scorched. Just hit a seed out there.
Whoa, that is long.
He squeezed that one, Frank.
That is the champion of the mashes. He mashed up. I don't know if that button can be used again after that.
Frank, you played in conditions all over the world. Here come the winds now. What's the mindset?
Well, this is really what separates the men from the boys. This is where you've got to tell yourself that it's an advantage to you. Obviously, the scores will go up a little bit, given the conditions. But once again, this is going to suit the stronger player today.
You like the old phrase, swing easy when it's breezy?
Definitely when you're hitting it into a head breeze. But if down breeze, tee it up a little bit, try and ride that wind some more.
This one just requires a little bit of focus. Just an amazing display. The records continue to fall.
All right, on to the 12th hole, 442-yard par 4. What do you like about this hole, Frank?
Just a nice par 4 that sort of bends to the player's right. A lot of people will just stand up here, grab the driver. I don't really think you have to do that, Rich. The hole's not overly long. Just something short or down that left side. You're only going to have a short iron in for your second shot.
and right out of the center of the bat.
Did you hear that? Oh, that's fine.
Nicely played shot, about 310 yards down the fairway.
Frank, it's always nice to play good golf, but it's just as special to be somewhere where you realize how fortunate we all are to be able to enjoy God's green earth. I mean, this is just an amazing spot.
Well, I know our game's seasonal, Rich, but it amazes me. This is a whole area completely under snow in the winter. And then, once the sun comes out, the snow starts to thaw out. You're left with this beautiful golf course just in amongst nature, and you can still be competitive with it. So you can be sort of smelling the roses.
Frank, these days golfers are training like high-level athletes from other sports. Rory McIlroy, for example, has been using a guy by the name of Steve McGregor, who happened to be the trainer for the New York Knicks of the NBA.
And part of his training now is high altitude. The majority of the medal holders, for example, in the Olympics, or medal winners in the Olympics, actually use high altitude training. You can develop more red blood cells in a shorter period of time. But, golf, we've had so many different types of training from the athlete side. But you go back to the old days of Henry Cotton beating an old tire. Vijay Singh picked up on that. Or even the rhythm of Sam Snead. He used to count in the rhythm. It was 1, 2, 3. It was 1 at the top of the swing, 2 at impact, and 3 at the follow through. All those things are still very valid today.
That had to really hurt, Frank, because it looked good all the way.
Well, this will test his mettle.
Nudge this one home, finish it up. Par for McIlroy, but you're just waiting for that moment when he hits that accelerator and pulls away.
Well, this is a good hole right here. Par 3, 225-yard 13th. Frank, what do you think?
Well, it's called sulfur. I can't remember what element that is on a periodic table, but hardest thing here is not to figure that out, but figure out what club you're going to use. Just a fraction downhill, just over 200 yards. It does narrow up when they start to tick the flag in the back, but there's a nice fat target there, sort of those first 2/3 of the green.
Appears to be what they call a commercial play. Very solid. No problems there. Really good approach shot. And now, good look at birdie. Settles in over the putt.
Well, Frank, it's our job to get excited.
You can't when you leave it short, though.
I'm sad.
He's making my job hard.
Just a couple of feet. Good, confident stroke. That's what you like to see. Putting for par. Stays at 6 under. Back here at the par 4 14th, and we are ready to tee off. 442-yard hole, Frank.
It's called wampum. My Canadian's not that good, so I don't know what that means, but the way I decipher it, another little dog leg to the right with bunkers all over the place. They're sort of in the place where you'd like to hit the tee shot is exactly where that crop of, 5 bunkers down the left side. So you're going to have to somehow squeeze it just right of that. Very awkward tee shot. Tom Weiskopf was one of my idols growing up. I loved the way he swung. That swing right there reminds me of my idol.
And it looks like Rory McIlroy, Frank, sticking the follow-through.
Now zeroing in on this second shot here at the par 4 14th.
You can keep the second shot a little right of the flag here. The general contours kick a little left here away from the bunkers on the right. That would be the ideal shot in here.
This won't hurt him. Really good distance control there, playing well to his strengths. Not a gimme, but well within his range. Ooh, that hurts. Oh, man.
And it just pushed it.
Boy, that hurts. You don't want to let this one get away. This is about concentration and focus at this point. Well, Frank, you hear it so often. This is a game of dealing with your miscues.
That's the beauty of this game of golf. It giveth and it taketh away.
Well, this one's tracking.
Normally you'd be happy to take 2 from there. What's one going to feel like? Great putt.
Frank, looking out here on the 15th hole, this looks like a spot where you could really crank one that you could tell your buddies about.
It's another hole that suits a player that hits the ball right to left. It's no surprise to see why Rory McIlroy plays well around here. Nice, big, high towering draw. It's going to go that extra yardage because of the elevation.
Great strike and a great result. Sitting up, good chance to attack the flag.
Let's see what McIlroy does now with his second.
Oh, solid strike right in the heart of the green.
Oh, just a superb shot.
You're not going to see much better than that all day today.
Just 5 feet left. Six under par now. Frank, the 16th hole, 414 yards, par 4 is nicknamed GOAT. Would that be greatest of all time, or is it just because the possibility you could see old Billy out there here in the Canadian Rockies?
I'd like to think it's the greatest of all time. I've never seen a GOAT hit a draw, that's why, and that's what's needed off this tee once again. The first bunker should easily be able to carry that, and, well, if you're the greatest of all time, this is a fairway, you're certainly hit.
now it's right in his wheelhouse. Good position where he can attack the pin.
Yeah, he has all those options now. With that ball sitting up, you can bring it in high, you can bring it in low. The choice is yours.
Well, that is an exceptional shot on the green and in position for a birdie.
Yeah, it's a formality now.
Been pretty good all day from this distance, just trying to take care of business. That's a birdie for McIlroy. He's just so explosive.
Just 2 holes left here at Banff Springs, and Frank, another par 4. This one, short, 374 yards.
It is. It's named Sarsi, which is a tribute to the Indian tribes here and the First Nations of Canada. So just think about that when you're teeing it off here on what is not an overly difficult par 4.
Frank, the handicap system in golf really is the great equalizer, isn't it?
Yeah, there's no sport like it. I can't imagine going to Wimbledon and playing, sort of Djokovic or Federer or, playing NFL with Peyton Manning. But, the beauty of golf, we can go out in a golf course. We decide what our handicaps are on the first tee. We decide who's going to get strokes, and then off you go and play. And you play on a level playing field.
That one ends up about 25 feet from the hole. Frankie seems to have found something. Already 2 birdies in a row and now another chance.
Yeah, it's all starting to flow here. This is really important. He's starting to play well, so finish it off here for 3 in a row.
Very well done. Almost made it.
Yeah, there'll be no stress for the next one.
Could use this. A putt for par. In for par. Well, here we are at the final hole here at Banff Springs, 578-yard par 5, and Frank, a chance to finish the round with a flourish.
If you're one of the fortunate to hit this fairway, it's very reachable, but well protected by bunkers, left, right, central bunkers as well. You really have to be aware of 2 things, the wind direction and exactly how far you can carry that tee shot if you want to find this fairway.
Well, this looks good.
Certainly is.
Just a good solid tee shot right there, about 280 yards.
Now from a good position in the fairway, his second shot. no, look out, Frank. I think he flushed that one.
Oh, this is gone.
Into the thick stuff. That's a difficult lie. Frank, what's the best way to get at the golf ball when it's sitting down just a bit in the rough?
You have to accept the fact, first and foremost, that you're not going to get clean contact. So you have to decide whether the ball's going to come out short or it's going to fly. Because very rarely will it come out the normal distance of what you hit on the fairway. So if it's a little thin and wispy, chances are it might fly. If it's nestled down, you're going to have to take at least another club.
Oh, without a doubt. That will be on the highlight reel later tonight. Excellent shot. Well, that wraps up another round here at Banff Springs. Frank, what caught your eye today?
Just the gorgeous scenery, Rich. Golf course not overly long, but not often we get north of the border in just an idyllic part of the world.
We saw plenty of great shots out on the course today, and we're looking forward to getting back to the action soon. So for all of us here at EA Sports, this is Rich Lerner, along with Frank Nobilo saying, until next time. Today's coverage brought to you by EA Sports and the PGA Tour. And hello again and welcome. Rich Lerner alongside Frank Nobilo. We are at Oakmont Country Club in western Pennsylvania. Frank, the site of so many historic moments. Great players have made their mark here. Sam Snead, Ben Hogan, Jack Nicklaus, Ernie Els, a long and distinguished list.
Oakmont, if it's not the most difficult golf course in North America, Rich, it's certainly one of the most difficult golf courses. With its 210 bunkers, really personified by the church pews, the hard and slick greens that slope away from the player and the tight fairways, this golf course always requires the utmost precision.
Frank, this is a stout opening hole, 482-yard par 4.
It's often being said that the hardest holes in golf are straight, and that's exactly what this opening hole is. There's bunkers that litter the left and the right side of the fairway. The further down you hit, the better view you have of this green, which is set well below the level of the fairway. So a long tee shot, you can nearly see the flag. Anything short of that, you're going to have a blind or semi-blind second.
Frank, did you hear the sound of that coming off the club face?
It was like a cannon. This has exploded off the club face.
Frank, downhill shot here. Will he have to take it just a little bit easier?
Yeah, be careful with the ball position as well. If you play the ball too far forward and try and scoop it, it's not going to work.
Another good swing, and it looks like, Frank, another really good shot.
That's how you play the game, right there. Stick it in close and then knock in the birdie. This one just requires a little bit of focus.
That's not how you picture it, Frank, when you step on that first tee.
No, you'd like to go back to that first tee right now and start again.
And this will be a 5-foot putt here.
Oh, painful lip out. This is a good putt.
Absolutely can't believe it. I thought that thing was stone dead in the center. So with that, 1 over par. On the tee, ready to go.
There's always advantage of hitting it further than most, Rich, and straighter than most. When you put the two together, it's just straight up a head start.
Frank, really good chance from this position to make a birdie.
Yeah, really the only thing he's looking at right now is the flag. This is a green light special.
He's knocked it on the green, but not in a great position. This is a difficult chance coming up here. Long birdie try. This is a pretty long putt here. You'd be happy to get this to within 2 or 3 feet. You really want to take the stress out of that next putt. So a long putt there and just didn't read it quite right. These putts keep the round together.
Well, for such a strong man, weak putt.
Now I'll have to make this just to avoid making Michael Bublé.
Slipping just a bit, another bogey, and now 2 over par.
So here we are at the third hole, par 4, again 428 yards. Frank, have you ever seen anything quite like the bunkering that we have here on the left side of this hole?
No, the church pews, they're famous, obviously, for Oakmont, and they have that tendency to drag. He's loading up on it.
Look at the coil there.
I mean, that is one of the hardest drives I have ever seen. Just let it rip. Frank, I know you like boxing. That was some heavyweight power right there.
Smoked it.
Paying attention like a little kid at school, Frank. That baby's sitting up.
Sitting up. It's got the best view as well. You don't even need binoculars from where that ball is. Well, there's a big green, and they're going to use every inch of it.
Chance for birdie after that beautiful shot. Locked in on the read and the speed.
You couldn't ask for much more than that, except to make it. So a tester from 4 feet. Frank, you know what gets me about this game? Here a person makes a legitimate effort, makes a good stroke, and that ball spins around and is just laughing at the player. And now what's left, you could breathe on that ball. It counts the same as a 300-yard drive. It's not right.
But it's the beauty of the game.
John Daly, take a back seat, big fella. How about that drive?
Is it stopped yet? It's still going.
I mean, he just blasted it down the fairway, well over 325 yards.
Second shot.
Oh, looked like you caught a flyer right there, Frank.
Well, I don't know what he caught, but this is way too much.
Getting set for this next shot from the rough, what does the player need to be careful of here, Frank?
Well, this is where we're going to see exactly how good they are because, you know, that's not exactly the best lie, but it's sort of doable if you know what you're doing.
Playing a par 5, Frank, what happened on that third shot?
Yeah, it's a poor decision, but well, hopefully he can eradicate that from the memory banks and really knuckle down on this. Do not want to drop a shot or make 6 here.
Oh, dude, that in the hole. Tremendous shot. And now the 5th hole, short but challenging par 4, 382 yards, and it obviously rewards precision off the tee, heavily bunkered along the way. That one is just a little offline, and that will not end up in the fairway. Second shot coming out of the rough here. Frank, I know you love boxing as I do. McIlroy has that big punch knockout ability. It has you on the edge of your seat because, you know, at any moment, he might end the fight.
Yeah, there's always a spark there, or a little simmer, and you think it's just going to burst into flames at one stage and just ignite Rory over any stretch of holes.
Good-looking shot right here. Frank, not close, but from that lie, not bad.
Oh, that's excellent. Seriously, given the conditions, Rich.
Well, he's going for back-to-back birdies here, trying to jumpstart this round.
Some momentum moving in the right direction.
Wow, that was so close, Frank.
Just time to forget that one. I mean, he couldn't hit that much better.
And getting ready for the putt. Two over for the day. And now to the par 3 6th here at Oakmont, measuring in at just under 200 yards. Frank, when you look at great rivalries in sports, you realize that athletes need each other. Joe Frazier needed Muhammad Ali to achieve greatness, to achieve legendary status. And in golf, Tom Watson needed Jack Nicklaus to push him to another level.
And also to define an era. Without one, we couldn't think of the 80s or the 90s or the 2000s or the 2010s. You need those players to define that era. So you need competition. Competition is not without rivalry.
This will be a birdie if it drops. He's going to beat himself up on the way to the next tee. You don't miss those putts. Just a couple of feet. Par for McIlroy, but you're just waiting for that moment when he hits that accelerator and pulls away. And we've come to the par 4 7th. It is 434 yards. That's an absolute tracer right there. In the fairway and well over 320 yards. Second shot, good look at the green. This could be good. And it generates some momentum here at the 7th hole. This for birdie. Been pretty good all day from this distance, just trying to take care of business.
Did a nice job with that putt. Good read, good speed. Sitting right now at 2 over par for the round. Well, Frank, he'll drop at least one shot here. That was not his best effort.
No, poor is the easiest way to put that. He knows it.
And he makes it for a bogey here. The par 3 8th. This is where Angel Cabrera, Sunday at the U.S. Open in 2007, made a deuce, and it was set up to play at 300 yards on that final day. This is all you want, Frank, in a par 3.
Yeah, it was the first 300-yard par 3 ever in a U.S. Open.
Well, this one should be safely on deck here. Frank had hit the green, but just didn't have enough backspin.
Yeah, you wonder what he was thinking on that.
Great professionals, Frank, they don't fear the greenside bunker shot, do they?
No, because you can be as aggressive or as conservative as you want. You actually have far more options. And you don't have to hit the ball first.
Well, the stats say that is a green hit in regulation, but it's not yet a par on the card. Very tough putt coming up. Looks like he just misread that. Just needs to keep it steady here over the putt. Oh, I thought he had that. Oh, man.
I just pushed it.
Boy, that hurts. Just 5 feet left. That's messy. That's a double bogey. Rounding out the front 9 here at Oakmont, Frank, it looks to be straight away, uphill. Anything to be cautious about on this tee shot?
Well, there certainly is. Years gone by, this was a par 5 for the US Opens of yesteryear. Par 5 still for the members. And the reason why is it's a little bit uphill, semi-blind tee shot, bunkers left and right, and of course rough if you miss those. This is one of those holes, even though it's a par 4 now, you miss the fairway here, you are not reaching this green in 2.
Missed that one, and it is going towards the rough. We moved that one out there, but he is not going to like the lie.
That moved down in the rough.
Second shot coming out of the rough here.
Frank, you played the game at the highest level. You know it doesn't always go your way. So what kind of advice do you give the player who's having a rough go of it?
I used to have a little notepad that I remembered, and on it was stop, take a deep breath, make a decision, and now go with it. Just re-rack. Oh, solid strike right in the heart of the green.
Oh, just a superb shot.
You're not going to see much better than that all day today.
Can't get them all back at once, but does go in the right direction. Now at +4. Take a look now at the 10th hole, Frank. Par 4, 462 yards.
Yeah, this one can play a lot of different distances, and the reason why is if you can sneak a driver to catch the downslope, it can run all the way down. You can have just a wedge in here. If you're not as fortunate and you leave it hanging up on that hill, it plays a good 200 yards for your second.
They'll be happy with that. In the fairway, now a good chance to attack this hole. Frank, what's this approach shot look like here at the 10th?
Another one you're trying to gauge what the ball's going to do when it hits the ground. If this hits the ground on the front of this green, then there's a good chance, believe it or not, it might stay on. Now, you think I'm joking? But you hit one there a little low that catches that front right corner. More often than not, it finishes on the back left.
Early part of this second nine, a good approach shot. Now, pretty good chance for birdie. All right, let's see if he can make back-to-back birdies and really start to pick up some momentum after a struggle at the start of the day.
Yeah, his body language is starting to change, so good chance here. And you never know, maybe get on a run, or this could be the start of a run. Now putt for par.
He has a 12-footer here. Oh, what happened there, Frank? Nudge this one home, finish it up. So he has that for bogey. I can't help but think that the double bogey back on the 8th hole seems to have taken him out of his game. Let's see what McIlroy does now with his second.
This looks like it's going to find the target.
That will be a great look at birdie. This one just requires a little bit of focus. Frankie took plenty of time on this birdie putt. He looked at it from 3 different angles. He forgot one very important ingredient.
Yeah, pace. You can definitely fall in love with the line, even with approach shots as well, but obviously we see it more on putting.
Well, Frank, the par 5 12th here at Oakmont, it's a lot of golf hole at 667 yards.
It's the hardest par 5 I've ever seen or played that doesn't have water. It starts with that tee shot. The whole fairway slopes left to right. Just to get the ball on the fairway, you've got to draw the ball against the slope. The same problem exists with the second and the third shot.
Beautiful looking shot right here.
Just blasted that tee ball, Frank.
Second shot.
We're also seeing more long putters in the game.
Yeah, there's a choice. If you don't feel comfortable with a normal grip and you've got a few nerve issues, then you can use a longer version, jam it in your chest, have a different fulcrum point. Well, it was almost like that's what he wanted to do, but why would you want it to run over the back?
Shot now from the rough. Frank, what's he facing?
Well, the lie first and foremost. If it's sitting down, then obviously you're not going to get a very good contact. Nothing wrong with coming up a little bit short of the green. Problem is turning one mistake into another.
Early part of this back nine and a good approach shot. Now we'll have this for birdie.
It's no snack, though. Can't birdie them all, Rich.
"21 feet from pay dirt."
Had every chance of going in.
Locked in on the read and the speed. Oh man, you can't miss him from that distance. And it's a long way to the hole from here. Never easy. That may have been a bit too much to ask for there, that distance putt, Frank.
Yeah, it's fine to be greedy before you hit the putt, but after you've hit it, 2 from that distance is fine.
Don't leave it short. Wow. Not a good hole of golf here. It is that time to pick up and move on.
Well, Frank, what about this par 3 13th? Measures 183 yards.
It has a little bit of a crescent-shaped green, but it looks like the green should shape that way, but the actual contours of the green go in the opposite direction. The only good thing about that is chances are you've got an uphill putt.
Seems to like it. Looks like it's headed for the green.
It's at sneaky distance.
Well, that would have been a bonus had it gone in, but still, reasonable chance for par here.
Yeah, there's no damage. You're not going to birdie every hole.
Par for McIlroy, but you're just waiting for that moment when he hits that accelerator and pulls away. 14, pretty short par 4 at 358 yards. Frank?
Get the ball in play here, and certainly your best opportunity for birdie on the second 9 so far.
He pays a price for that.
Yeah, when you don't see the top of the ball in the rough, you know it's not sitting pretty. You'll need a bit of force to extract one out of there.
How good was that, Frank, from the rough?
All right, that's amazing. That's a masterclass in short game.
Not a gimme, but well within his range. That had to really hurt, Frank, because it looked good all the way.
Well, this will test his mettle.
Really not much to this. The only issue would be a lack of concentration or focus. Everything has gone wrong today. It just continues to be ugly.
All teed up at the 15th. It's a par 4 of 499 yards. What a test here, Frank.
It certainly is. The tee shot here is a little bit like the par 5 12th, where the fairway slopes quite severely from left to right. It means the pews there on the left side are actually not a bad place to aim at. You just have to allow for that kick and roll towards the right.
This is when the game is fun, Frank, when you get one high in the air and you have a down breeze and you just watch it stays in the air forever.
Yeah, the hang time on that.
This is a good-looking shot. So a chance for birdie after another solid approach shot.
Really. This is an awkward length.
Well, there's an opportunity wasted.
Just knock it in for a par and let's forget about this one. Golf is not about perfect, but it is going to hurt the cause.
Man.
I just pushed it.
Boy, that hurts. So, Frank, that's a bogey, and you see something with the body language here?
Yeah, I think we noticed that back there with that double bogey, Rich. Since then, it's almost like doubts crept in, a little bit of uncertainty. That is the beauty of this game at times, but really, if you want to be a champion, that's one thing that you have to change. Somehow, you've got to forget what's just happened. We haven't seen that yet. Surely not.
Not terrible, but not his best.
Yeah, outside chance really for birdie, but really it was a rather poor approach shot.
Well, that's all you want right there. Just lag it down, don't get too crazy, and now just a tap in left.
Just a couple of feet. Well, you almost lose count at this point. Safe to say, not under par. In fact, well over par.
17th hole at Oakmont, par 4. Only 313 yards, and yet, Frank, it was so pivotal at the last U.S. Open played here in 2007.
It was pivotal for a lot of different reasons, strategy being one. Some elected to go down the right side with just a mid-iron. Others went directly at the green, did not get the ball up and down. Furyk and Tiger Woods come to mind in that situation. You can see the green's just perched up there. If you do lay it up, you don't quite get a full look at this green because you have to lay it up down that right side. There's something about a well-hit shot.
No complaints there. In the fairway, down there about 290 yards. Let's see what the dominant number 1 player can do. Rory McIlroy now on the approach shot. That's a nice approach shot. It's about 15 feet away. A good chance for a birdie. Been pretty good all day from this distance, just trying to take care of business. Oh, I thought he had that. Came to the putt, excited to make birdie. Now, settle for par.
Yeah, little change in the attitude right now. When you've let one go, you've got to really knuckle down there and make sure you don't drop a shot. It's important this one goes in.
Good work right there. He'll settle for par. Great finishing hole here at Oakmont, Frank, the 18th.
I remember back in 1994, this was the last hole in a U.S. Open ever played by Arnold Palmer. You couldn't pick a better finishing hole. To win a championship was... Oh, he's winding this one up. Does he have the power, though?
Just amazing what they're able to do with that golf swing. Hit it so far at that size. Not overly big, but man, can really move it a long ways. He has just hammered this drive here at the 18th, and now he is in a really good position to make a birdie here on the final hole. Seems to like it. Headed for the fat part of the green. Ooh, nice play right there. That's in pretty close.
Shouldn't be a problem here, but not a formality either.
Just singes the edge, Frank.
Yeah, but at least he's burning the edges. You know you're hitting good putts.
So they'll tap in. Did the job right there. Going to need the A game tomorrow. That was not the round they were looking for.
Well, the A game, as we know, doesn't come Attitude will certainly go a long way, and maybe, just maybe, a little bit of time on the range.